Have you ever played Mario Sunshine and stopped for just a second to think, wow, this beach is gorgeous. It has a great view, the water is crystal clear, and there's so many different sights to see. I just want to sink my toes into the sand anywhere in Isle Delfino. If only I could purchase a plane ticket and plan my next vacation there. Well, if you somehow thought exactly that, I guess this video is for you. Back in the early 2000s, it was every game developer's mission to make some kind of water-based video game. So there's a lot of beach aesthetics in this era, and my rotted, hyper-capitalist brain can't help but wonder which one would make the greatest tourist hellhole. Now, a good beach vacation obviously has a great-looking beach, but if I'm there for like 4 days, I'd get bored fast. There needs to be some other activities. And since these are video game worlds, I also have to take into consideration the fact that I might just be chilling and a giant whale-like eldritch god that represents humanity's greed is going to show up and eradicate the human race. We'll get to that soon. But first, let's pedal back a bit and take a closer look at Off-rip, Mario Sunshine gets some brownie points for the fact that Isle Delfino is already a tourist destination spot, as the game opens with Mario and Peach and Toadsworth flying out there for their own beach vacation, which is quite nice. If we truly wanted to turn this place into a real-world vacation spot, we wouldn't have to go through the trouble of overthrowing the government. Unfortunately though, as soon as they touch down, Mario gets racially profiled as he looks too similar to a suspect in some terrorist attacks and ends up in jail. This is unfortunately realistic and topical, but I'm not Italian, so I'm not worried. In the game, Delfino Plaza acts as the hub world, and it's where you spend most of your time. It's pretty much the town square with lots of local vendors, some nice architecture, and it has its own little beach as well, which is probably nice for some local events. However, overall, this place is small, and I don't know how fun shopping is when my choices are big chili pepper store or giant banana stand. These two sailors having a good time does tell me that this place is inclusive, but don't go looking for any gay clubs, because you never know when you'll end up on a floating island in an infinite skybox with no realistic exit. Thankfully, there's some other places to explore besides Delfino Plaza, as this would be a mid-vacation without more to do. I hear there's actually a big amusement park on nearby islands, so we just have to make our way there somehow. Excuse me, what now? Yeah, according to the in-game map, every location is on the main big island besides the amusement park, but the only way we see Mario get around places is by some witchcraft created by that terrorist we mentioned earlier, as well as staring directly into the sun, and yeah, being blasted out of a cannon. Now, I'm sure if Mario didn't have a criminal record, maybe there would be a ferry or some kind of taxi service to get from place to place, but I don't see such things, so I'm just gonna have to climb the rooftops and jump down this pipe to get back to my hotel. Speaking of which, the hotel is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's not close to any civilization, so there's no noise pollution, and the beach is just gorgeous. The sunset here is unmatched, and hey, there's even a casino. Who doesn't love a little gambling on their vacation? You just gotta be careful though, as this place is definitely haunted. Like, not even a touristy, ooh, somebody was murdered in here and the workers have seen some things. No, just straight up ghosts everywhere. There's a lot of dangers in Isle Delfino besides just the terrorist stuff going on, like Noki Bay, which has a nice waterfall, but the architecture here is absolutely dangerous and it seems like the water could be poisonous at times. Gelato Beach is a great place for a swim, and it's even got a bar, kinda, but these weird looking fuckers will just launch you in the air if you look at them wrong. Rico Harbor is, well, a harbor. Yonko Hills is quaint but boring. The amusement park, if there's a way to actually get there safely, has like 3 rides, and there's moles shooting missiles at you at the entrance. And don't even get me started on Pianta Village. I'm not saying it's dangerous, but this place is a cesspool for Piantas, so I'm definitely steering clear of that. Isle Delfino is definitely a great place to visit once and then never step foot in there again. So like Florida, a lot of beauties and some mild dangers. Now, Isle Delfino is alright, but Mario isn't the only one to hop on the water trend. Why don't we check out how his old rival compares with... That's right, not even Sega could keep their grubby hands away from rendering water. They even made it the main villain of this game. I'm just gonna pretend this doesn't happen. Station Square is pretty cool. Not only do they have an amusement park, you know, that requires murdering someone to enter, but there's also gambling, yeah! And just like real life, after losing it all, I get tossed in a dark alleyway. Getting to the point of this whole video, I gotta mention the pool. It's pretty nice, and there's some babes here too. But seriously, Stage 1 Emerald Coast is a decent beachy area. However, 98% of it is inaccessible to me. How am I supposed to use these spray pads? I feel like I would snap my neck instantly. I could theoretically swim from section to section, but that's a lot of work, and I kind of fear for my life in this game's water. So the only accessible part of the beach has got this real SoCal vibe, with it being lined by hotels and businesses, and obviously you can't forget about the robo monkeys throwing bombs at you from the trees. I don't know. There's a lot of humans in Station Square, but I don't get how any of them are still alive. They must walk the streets all day, and that's it. Besides that, you got a restaurant and some stores, not much else to it, but you could take a quick train ride to the Mystic Ruins for a nice wilderness tour, and you could see some ancient ruins, which is cool. Honestly, as much as I love Sonic, a vacation at Station Square is much more dangerous and not very beachy as Isle of Delfino. And while Mystic Ruins is a nice unique touch, it's a little too remote and not touristy enough. No, I need a nice, low-key spot that's not a tourist hellhole, but will show up as a Windows Auto wallpaper that we can take a nice trip to. Destiny Islands, a tutorial island that turns into a pretty important area plot-wise, but in fear of this video being 20 hours long, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Destiny Islands is a gorgeous set of beach town vibe islands, and the main part you see in the game has a whole infrastructure created by locals from the sources given by the land. Unfortunately, those locals are preteens. What a great vacation. A bunch of mouth-breathing, sunburned kids asking me how I feel about Baby Gronk doing the 41 dance with the Costco guys at the Dubai Labubu convention. At least I can beat the shit out of them. But realistically, a grown man as myself probably won't be hanging around here. While we don't really see it, there is more to Destiny Islands than the playable section. We know Sora has a home away from the tutorial island, and in Kingdom Hearts 2 there are a couple of cutscenes showing Kairi walking around what I assume to be the main island, but I can really only go on vibes. There's a lot of beautiful flora and fauna on the island with crystal blue waters and a vast sea. There's a real hole-in-the-wall vibe when it comes to Destiny Islands. Hell, there's even a literal hole in the wall where the children draw on the inside and a local pedo shows up unannounced at times. My only real issue, besides the fact that there is seemingly not much to do, is I could just be chilling on the beach with my shades on, feet in the sand, sipping on a nice Pow-Poo fruit margarita when all of a sudden the world falls into darkness and I get sucked away, fighting a big shadow-like creature before I end up not knowing where I'm at in a dark alleyway when a homeless man tries to fight me. Honestly though, that happens to probably everyone at least once after having too many margs. Destiny Islands is a true picturesque beach vacation, but it's more built for social media influencers getting a couple of pics for the gram than it is for me trying to escape my 9 to 5 for a 4-day weekend. It's tiny and I don't have any knowledge of what actually goes on around there. To find the perfect beach vacation from a video game, I need something way bigger. I want to be able to plan a trip there a million times and find something new to do every single time. Something with a rich culture and a diverse ecosystem. You remember those preteens I beat the shit out of a little bit ago? Well, they went home crying to their mommies and thought they'll make a better beach vacation video game and prove me wrong. Let's just see how well they did in... yes. Water Final Fantasy. Definitely my favorite Final Fantasy game. The world of Spira is just absolutely gorgeous. There is an insane level of detail when it comes to the world building in this game. There's an economy, an in-depth culture with many different regions and climates filled with all sorts of people. And there's even a huge religion and eco-politics that carry the main game story. But I don't care about all that. Where can I gamble? While there isn't really a gambling thing to do on this beach vacation, snore! There is a very popular sporting event known as Blitzball. It's like water polo, but if the players were in a giant sphere of water floating in the sky. I'm sure while you're visiting though, you could just open up FanDuel and make a couple of parlays. Hell, my boy Waka has this team. I bet I could get their star player Tidus to underperform for us so we can make a quick buck. The only real issue with Spira as a vacation is, well, it's massive. There's not really just a place like Isle Delfino or Station Square. There's some nice beach locations like Bayside or even bigger cities that still have some water activities like Bavel. None of these are the absolute perfect places that have everything you need for a beach vacation, which makes it hard for me to decide which city needs a government takeover to turn into a capitalist hellhole, but Luca is probably the closest we'll get. With its booming economy and high importance on stuff like Blitzball, we might need to spend a couple of trillions of dollars to deforest it a bit and add some more beachland. Perfect. Plenty of events and shopping, and I can just have my feet in the sand with my shades on and a nice Dos Equis. Time to relax. What's with all that screaming going on? Oh, it's just the personification of humanity's greed and over-reliance on human-made capital here to destroy everything in sight. Well then, back to relaxing. Ding! Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe there's a world-ending entity that was created by a man that people worship as a god that exists here, but at least you could be Italian. Maybe a world-ending flying whale isn't ideal for a beach vacation, and it's actually quite dangerous to go here. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the fact that you can just be walking around when suddenly... Sometimes, if you want a good vacation, you gotta fight for it. It sucks that Delfino is still probably the best video game beach vacation, since it's mid. Maybe we go looking for a place that, while yes, it had a world-ending calamity, but it's so long ago that nobody cares. And there's no fear of it happening again like Spira. I'm of course talking about... Obviously, Nintendo didn't just stop with creating a water Mario game, they just had to double dip and give Zelda its time to shine with that lovely water trend. Except, instead of doing the whole current hardware makes realistic water much easier, they instead made Wind Waker cel-shaded and hyper unrealistic, which was extremely based in the correct thing to do. Now, the Great Sea is very large, but mostly just water. While water is necessary for a good beach vacation, you gotta have, a beach. Thankfully, there are plenty of islands to visit. When exploring the different islands in Wind Waker, you'll find that most of them are either or there's really only a couple of islands in Wind Waker with a civilization and a realistic spot for a beach vacation that doesn't result in death. Your choices are either Dragorous Island, but bird people scare me, and they also seem boring. No bar or casino, just a mail service and dragon. You could theoretically go to Offset Island as it has a big beach and a forest area to explore, but there's like 5 people who live here. What am I gonna do all day? My choices are watch this old lady slowly die, get trained in the way of the sword, or be a pig farmer, which low-key doesn't sound that bad. Ultimately, Windfall Island will be the ideal place for a beach vacation. There's a lot of welcoming locals with busy businesses like this bomb store or this mysterious looking potion shop. At least there's a bar, and even a local school, though these gang of kids won't leave me alone. Fortunately, these kids are the most dangerous thing on this island, making Windfall the safest beach vacation we've explored yet. Besides some shopping and a bar, there's this weird-ass dude that has a game of Battleship you can play, which is kinda cool, and there's even a prison, which makes me feel safe, kinda. Though the only prisoner they had was set free despite having a secret cave full of skulls, and he also ultimately went to an island of his own creation that's ran on slave labor, but that's not happening at our vacation spot, so who cares? This place even has some Vegas vibes with this Elvis impersonator, but I'm not seeing any gambling around here. Well, that is until it turns to night. Okay, fine. Maybe an auction house isn't really gambling, but Windfall Island so far is the safest option with some nice things to do and an okay beach. So I guess this is the best video game beach vacation. Okay, fine. You're right. We need some real gambling. And a better beach, to be honest. Even though there's been tastes of gambling here and there, pinball doesn't really cut it. No, I want my authentic gambling now. Finally, I can do some real gambling with roulette, blackjack, and even poker. Nothing says a perfect beach vacation like losing everything. Oh my god. Man, what even is this game? Am I just here gambling? Oh, excuse me. Hello there, miss. There's also tatas and hoo-has here. Dead or Alive is exactly what it looks like. But I'm not a little weirdo like you. Did you even know that Momiji loves fresh bananas? No, of course not. Because you were too busy fawning over her milk makers instead of getting to know her. Like I. While you were taking lewd pictures of girls, I was simply reading an Excel sheet to see their preferences. So, I know what to gift them, and in turn, they'd like me more and possibly be my volleyball partner. Look, when it comes to games about anime gazungas, there doesn't have to be much to it. Now, this video isn't about reviewing these games, I'm just trying to find the perfect beach vacation, and while the core gameplay is just endlessly grinding money in order to buy all the swimsuits for the girls to wear, you gotta admit, new Zack Island is beautiful. Everywhere looks so good, and it helps that this is the most modern game I've looked at so far, but damn, don't you want to stuff your toes in there? Okay, sorry, that was kind of a gross joke, but you can do so many things with the girls, like beach flags, pool hopping, tug of war, rock climbing, the aforementioned beach volleyball, but for some reason they're really bad at it. You can even relax in the sun, and there's butt battle? Alright, this is peak. We're done here, folks. We found the best beach vacation. Get ready to request some PTO for that 4-day weekend, baby. And wait, hold on a minute. 14 days now? Am I reading that right? Like two full weeks? and I'm supposed to be acting as an owner and make these women happy? You made a beautiful beach vacation video game and are now asking me to do the impossible? 2 weeks is just too long. It's gonna start feeling like a job, because it kinda is, and I'm gonna miss my cats. Oh yeah, I guess I'll miss my girlfriend too. Since it's basically work, I can at least write it off on my taxes, and it's not like I'm gonna die here. Okay, well, that was in the first 2 games, not here yet. They're still updating this game, but I'm sure as soon as they want to make a new one, they'll blow this island up too. Also, all of these girls here are like trained badass fighters, and I'm just a dude. I'll probably die here one way or another. That being said, I think this is low-key the best beach vacation we've seen. Who would have guessed that the best video game beach vacations would be from games based on beach vacations? But I'm still not satisfied. There has to be a game out there that's based on taking a vacation that's all about having fun, with no fear of being racially profiled, exploded, or being bored. I'm sure there's been a bunch of people patiently waiting for me to tackle this game, so just roll the music. Alright, Woohoo Island is peak. You know you're always gonna have a fun time at Woohoo Island. I mean, it's literally in the name. Woohoo! I'm not gonna lie, I literally just put that together while writing the script. Wii Sports Resort is my personal fave when it comes to the Wii game series, and that's for a good reason. There's a lot to do here. Let's just go down the list, shall we? You can live out your anime fantasies running down this beach, katana in hand, slashing through people effortlessly. You can go wakeboarding, though I'm not that good at it. I played some frisbee golf, which is a chill-ass vibe, some archery, which has beautiful views, might I add. There's basketball, my absolute favorite in this game. Unfortunately, though, my crew of Naruto, Majin Vegeta, and SpongeBob got absolutely washed, so I had to hit up the lab and low-key take the 3-point record. And you know, my new crew absolutely killed, with my mom starting the game off with a bucket, followed by a Quagmire dunk and some killer D. Next up is some ping pong, which who doesn't love ping pong and a couple of brewskis? Golf, which is lame, into bowling, which is awesome. We can ride jet skis, go canoeing. I had Ned Flanders do a killer bike race, which gives you a nice tour around the island. Finally, you can fly a plane. Now, I'm not one for heights. You're probably not going to catch me doing this. It will definitely result in death, but it gives you a nice scope of the island that you can explore. There's a castle, a beautiful waterfall, a cozy town, plenty of beaches, some nice roads to either drive down or trails to walk. Hey, there's even some ancient ruins to explore and this low-key beach hideaway. Everything about this place is absolutely perfect. There's not even a world-ending threat here. How could you possibly die? Okay, sure, there's an active volcano here, but there's also one in Hawaii. Only a few people die every once in a while, but people die everywhere. I'm sure it's more dangerous in Florida than it is here. Gotta love it when a video allows me to make fun of Florida multiple times. Seriously, Woohoo Island provides the perfect beach vacation, and with so much to do, it's definitely the kind of vacation I would take yearly. So, there you have it. We explored many possibilities for a beach vacation. Some had world-ending threats, some had chesticles, some were just mid. But after shopping around, we have found the best place to enact a hostile takeover in order to turn it into a tourist hellhole. What's that? Woohoo Island is already a resort location and there's no need for a hostile government takeover? Oh, you sweet summer child. You must be forgetting something. Woohoo Island is on the verge of perfection, and only when I'm in power will I be able to make the necessary changes to maximize shareholder value and bring financial prosperity to its citizens. Build the casinos, add the poker tables. It's not a perfect beach vacation if you can't gamble, gamble, gamble! And I lost it all. Fuck.